Friends, welcome to this presentation on PID controller, PID tuning and simulations. So the content of today's presentation is, first of all, we shall be discussing the discrete time PID implementation algorithm. Then we'll be discussing pole placement method of PID control. Then we'll be discussing manual tuning method. Then Ziegler-Nicholas tuning algorithm, Cohen-Kuhn PID algorithm, then Chin CHR PID tuning algorithm, the WJC tuning formula, software based tuning, and finally we'll be demonstrating you the PID tuner facility of MATLAB. In all these methods, we'll be taking help of MATLAB as a simulation software. We'll be taking few examples and we'll be discussing each of these methods. So you know this very general block diagram of a PID controller. This is a typical control system plant where RT is the reference input, ET is the error, and there is a feedback from the output. So YT is our process variable or output. So you can also add a measurement block here, but we are saying that we are having a unity feedback. Then there is a controller. The controller is followed by an actuator. This actuator is basically a saturator here. It is not allowing the variables to go beyond the bounds, and UT is the input to the plant. Okay, so one can also add a disturbance here as a DT, additional disturbance, and this UT is going to the plant. Now there is a plant model, and plant is producing a output YT, and then again it is feedback. So this is a typical control system which everybody knows, and this is a generalized expression for a PID controller. So we know that Kp is a proportional gain, Ki is an integral gain, and Kd is a derivative gain. So this form of PID equation is also called as a parallel form, and where the unknown coefficients are Kp, Ki, Kd. So they should be found from the typical methods which are being discussed now. Okay, and then can be substituted here inside a control system to evaluate the performance of the control system. So essentially this controller is influencing the plant model so that we get a desired response at the output YT. So there is a standard form. So previous form, this is a parallel form. Now this form is a standard form. So here in this case, Kp is the gain coefficient, proportional gain coefficient, and it is basically being multiplied to each of the terms here. Ti is something like an integral time constant, and Td is something like a derivative time constant. So Ti and Td are the variables here. Okay, so Kp, Ti, Td. So these can be found. So these are the input to the PID controller. Okay, from different methods. So by Laplace transformation, we can also write this in this way. So Kp in bracket 1 plus 1 upon Tis plus Tds. So we can also find out what is Ti. Ti is basically Kp upon Ki, and Td is basically Kd upon Kp. So if you compare this particular equation with the parallel form. the PID equation can also be written in this manner. So because sometimes uh, there is a high frequency noise being present in the control system coming from the input. Now this high frequency noise is amplified because of this derivative gain. So in order to filter out that noise, so one can also add a pole here or a low pass filter here to the derivative term. Okay, so this term is modified. So earlier it was Td into S, but now we have added a pole here, 1 plus TdS upon n. So where n is an integer number, it may be 10, 20, 100, etc., etc. So Td is basically the same derivative time constant. There is another possibility, that is PID control with derivative in feedback loop. So it has also been found that if you can add this term, okay, so derivative term, so this is a PI controller and this derivative term is added in a feedback loop. Okay, this is also another form of PID representation. Okay, practically this is also being done in several occasions. So this is to reduce the noise amplification in the control system, or if there is sudden change in the set input RT, if there is a sudden change, then there is a high frequency, so derivative term will enhance that term in the step input and will create oscillations, unnecessary oscillations or instability in the system. So in practice the derivative term may be preferred in the feedback path. So since the output does not change instantaneously for a step input, a smoother signal is produced by taking the derivative of the output. Okay, so this PID control strategy, which will be denoted as PI-D. Okay, so this one, so derivative term added in the feedback path. So this particular form of representation of PID is also called as PI-D control strategy. So this is basically a feedback. So now the feedback is not unity feedback. Okay, so HS is basically a feedback gain. Okay, so the feedback gain is modified now. Okay, earlier it was unity gain. So feedback gain is this expression which is being solved from this block. Okay, and so we got this expression, and we wrote a simple example code for this to verify this particular strategy. So this is particular G, so transfer function, okay, TI, KP. We'll see in the MATLAB session. Okay, so let us understand this concept with the help of a MATLAB. So we are using online MATLAB because MATLAB so has a utility called as online MATLAB. So what you have to do is you have to just go like this. I'll show you how to do this. So there is a page, so you can also just Google online MATLAB and you will be reaching to this site, and then start using MATLAB online. So sometimes they will also ask you for registration, so you have to use your academic ID for registration. So MATLAB is allowing you to use MATLAB online. The MathWorks Incorporation is the company name, so that is allowing you to use the MATLAB for academic purposes. So now we have reached here. So it is also providing a cloud services. So all our files are now here. You look at these files, all these files are available in the cloud. So they have got a separate cloud that is called as MATLAB drive. So they are providing this drive in their server, okay, attached to this account. So I have my own account, okay. So we can also start using MATLAB online. So this particular exercise will give you an idea as to how to simulate this particular equation. This is basically a standard form of expression. So I'll explain you each one of the lines here. So this is a MATLAB has got a function called as transfer function. So I have got a plant. So this plant is G, okay, and so transfer function. So G is basically expressed as transfer function. Now this is transfer function in bracket. We have got two terms. One term is followed by comma, okay. So this term is basically a numerator term. So it expresses the numerator polynomial, and this particular term expresses the denominator polynomial. So it is something like, how can you interpret this? So this is basically 1 means there is no s term here, it is just a constant. So 1 upon, okay, so you can also write like this. So we'll see it later, but 1 upon this is 1331 means this is 1 multiplied by s to the power 0, okay, 3 multiplied by s to the power 1, then 3 multiplied by s to the power 2, and 1 multiplied by s to the power 3. So this is the meaning of these coefficients, okay. So we have got a transfer function given as 1 upon s cube plus 3s square plus 3s plus 1. So now if somebody wants to write the transfer function as it is in s form, we can also define a function called as s equals to tf and in bracket s like this in the quotes, okay. That means henceforth whenever we are referring to any particular system, so we can directly write the mathematical expression similar to other codes which we write, okay, and we can also write s as a variable, okay. So it accepts it, okay. So we define kp equals to 1, ti equals to 1, and td equals to 1, okay. And what is the meaning of step? So step means basically it is operating on the bracket, so it is actually performing the step input response on this particular system. So what is the system? System is a feedback control system. So feedback is another function, so which is operating on this bracket, okay, where this term is basically a open loop transfer function, and this term is basically a feedback gain or feedback transfer function, okay. And then finally this particular expression, okay, when feedback function is operating on this particular term, then you will get another system which is called as a closed loop transfer function, okay. And we are essentially taking the step response of the closed loop transfer function. Now we are also trying to see what happens if this particular n variable, okay, is basically swapped from 100 to 10,000, okay, or you can say it can be swapped from 1 to 10 also first of all, and then it can be swapped from 100 to 10,000, okay. Now we are writing down the compensator expression or PID controller expression as like this, okay, which we have seen earlier in this particular presentation. So we have seen here earlier. So this is my term 1 plus 1 upon TIS plus TDS upon 1 plus TDS upon N. Okay. So this term is rewritten here 1 plus 1 upon TIS plus TDS upon 1 plus TDS. So we have added a pole here, and this N is basically a variable which is being swapped here. Okay, because we want to have a feedback here to be seen, the response to be seen for a multiple N. Okay, and now you save here and run the system. So you will find that you will get a response like this. So this is a closed loop control system response with this particular PID coefficients with Kp equals to 1, Ti equals to 1, Td equals to 1, and Kp equals to 1. And N is basically swapped here. Okay. Right. So you can see the effect of PID. You can see the effect of this particular N term on the overshoots. So we found that the overshoots are reduced in this case. Okay. And one can also check out with the individual term also. Okay, although we have made a iterative program, but one can do that. Okay, now let us check the another program where it's a demo of PID controller with derivative in a feedback loop. Okay, in feedback path. Okay, say now we have written down here the same, we have taken same transfer function, that is plant transfer function, that is 1 upon s cube plus 3s square plus 3s plus 1. Okay, and we have taken Ti1, Td1 and Kb equals to 1, and we have assumed N equals to 100. Okay, and then this is a compensator transfer function. Okay, this is a compensator transfer function of the earlier program, or of the structure where this particular this one. Okay, this one is G underscore C, and this one, okay, for this particular model we have got G underscore C1. Okay, so G underscore C1 is basically a closed loop transfer function with G C1 as a PID controller. Okay, and what is GC1 PID controller? So we have already defined H. Okay, which is already written in this particular expression. Okay, so this H we have written down. And then we found the feedback transfer function with the feedback. This is a closed loop transfer function of both these plants. Okay, or both these compensator. One compensator is the simple with a derivative term modified with a low pass filter. Okay, that is G underscore C, and the another is G underscore C1, which is basically using a compensator with this modified, that is derivative in a feedback path. Okay, so we want to see this, check out this particular thing by running the program. So we'll run this program. So you'll find that, so here GC, so this command is basically applying a step input to a, a closed loop transfer function G underscore C, which is the derivative term modified in the low pass filter, modified by the low pass filter, and the G underscore C1 is the closed loop transfer function with derivative in feedback path. Okay, so this particular blue waveform will give you G underscore C step response, and red one will give you G underscore C1 response. So you will find that G underscore C1 will be giving some kind of overshoots. Now let us begin our discussion on implementation of a discrete time PID equation. So here we have written down a type A discrete time PID equation, and this consists of Kp, Ti and Td are the PID coefficients, and this is in standard form of representation of PID. E is a error and U is the output of the PID compensator. So here in this case, since this is a discrete time equation, K is the current time step, K minus 1 is the previous time step, and K minus 2 is the time step previous to previous. Now we want to show with the help of a MATLAB that this equation can be, discrete time implementation can be implemented, and also one can demonstrate how the PID compensator improves the overall closed loop performance of the system. Now we take an example. Here plant G is written as 1 upon 1 plus tau s. Tau maybe is taken as 0.5, and we can write a discrete time equation for the plant G and plot step response, and we can also write a discrete time PID equation and simulate the closed loop response, step response of the system. So this is our MATLAB code. So we have defined several variables here. In our case, the plant is essentially a low pass filter which we have implemented like this. That is, PV is the output of the plant, and H underscore X and H underscore Y, these are essentially coefficients which are already defined here. H underscore X is H minus 1 upon H plus 1, H underscore Y is 1 upon H plus 1, and H is equals to 2 into tau upon Ts. What is tau? Tau is the time constant of the plant, and we define several variables like set point as SP, PV as the process variable, U as the output of the PID compensator, and Y is also output of the plant, overall plant, and there are several other variables. We can set the proportional, integral and differential gain from these terms Kp, Kix and Kdx, and this is written in a loop. So a loop for n equals to 1 to 200, and the loop ends over here. And within the loop, we have written down three prominent equations. One is the error is set point minus process variable. Then number 2 is the main PID equation. So the PID equation consists of P term, I term and D term, like what we have explained it earlier. P term is the red one, I term is the blue one, and D term is the green one. So here in this case, P term is written as Kp into del P minus 1. So what is del P minus 1? Del P n plus 1. Del P is basically a variable which is basically a error difference of the present error and the previous error. Okay, so here P term is derived as Kp into the difference of the error, delta error. Okay, then I term is basically the integral coefficient or integral gain multiplied by En plus 1. So this term is something like this. This particular Kp Ts upon Ti, which we call it as a Kix. Okay, and this Kix multiplied by the error in the present time step is basically an integral term. So here integral term is equals to Kix into En plus 1, and the third term is the differential term. So where Kp, Td and Ts is essentially Kdx. Okay, and this is basically second order discrete time equation for the error. So this can be achieved here with D term. So that is equals to Kdx into the first En plus 1 error in the present time step minus 2 into previous time step error, and the next is the error in the previous to previous time step. Okay, so this second order equation is implemented here, and at the last the PID equation is written in the current time step as equals to the previous time step u plus P term plus I term plus D term. Okay, now this particular PID equation results into an output which is u. Now this u is then acting as an input to the plant. Okay, so input to the plant is u variable. So output of this plant model is PV, and PV is given here. This PV depends on the previous PV, previous time step V PV, and it also depends on the terms related to U. Now we can simulate this particular program for, let's say, Kp is equals to 1 and Ki is also equals to 0. So let us see the performance of this, because we know that when Kp equals to 1, the whole closed loop control system doesn't have any role of compensator as such. So it is as if the compensator is not there if Kp equals to 1. So we'll see the performance when Kp equals to 1. So what we are plotting? So we are essentially plotting SP and PV. In set point, so set point is here, that is 1, but the process variable is settling down to 0.5. Okay, so this is quite obvious, right? So it doesn't reach to the reference value. Okay, with only Kp, the proportional gain. Now we'll okay, so we'll set the integral gain as 0.1. and then we'll find out that this particular response, step response, reaches to 1. Okay, so this serves our purpose. Now here basically this is a single pole plant model, so therefore pi gain is also enough. Okay, so no requirement of derivative gain. However, one can also see what is the effect of derivative in this particular. So let us so if you set 0.5, and if you set this as 1, so you will get a slight difference in this. Okay, so there is no much difference in this, so we can increase this gain little higher side. Okay, you will see the difference. So you will see the difference in this. So some oscillations are coming here in this case. So in fact in this particular plant this is not required. Okay, but you can see that there is some change in the output coming. Okay, now we shall discuss PID computation by pole location method. So here in this pole placement method, the method is based on analysis of the closed loop control system. So mathematically the closed loop control system is analyzed. A generalized plant model is selected in transfer function form. Expected closed loop pole location are decided. So we have to decide what are the expected pole location after applying PID compensator. Then PID coefficients are calculated by comparing poles of closed loop transfer function due to PID block and poles of expected closed loop transfer function. This is computationally intensive method, and here there is no control on location of zeros of closed loop transfer function. So these are some of the limitations of the pole placement method. Now we shall see this pole placement method, and we shall begin with a single pole transfer function. So let the plant transfer function is given here, GS, and this is generalized form of single pole transfer function where kg is the gain and tau s plus 1. So tau is the time constant, tau s plus 1 is basically a denominator of this plant transfer function, and this can be rearranged like this. Okay, so in order to express this in a very generalized manner, s plus 1 upon tau as the denominator, we can rearrange these terms like this, and then we can also write a PID equation in S domain. So here Kp plus Kis plus Kd into S. So this is basically a parallel form of PID representation, and then we can solve this way. Then we can write the open loop transfer function as GS into GCS. So the expression, resulting expression after multiplying the GS with GCS, we can find out this way. So here you can find out that the denominator consists of this S plus 1 upon tau multiplied by S. Okay, and this numerator consists of this term KDS square plus KPS plus KI multiplied by KG upon S. Okay, kg upon tau. Okay, so we can now, due to effect of PID controller, we get two poles in the resulting closed loop system. So let us consider that the desired closed loop system has a closed loop poles located at s equals to minus alpha and s equals to minus beta. Therefore, the closed loop transfer function with PID gain is given this way. So this is a very generalized expression, and we assume that our expected poles are closed loop poles are s equals to lying at s equals to minus alpha and s equals to minus beta. Okay, so this results into denominator term of this expression as s square plus alpha plus beta into s plus alpha beta. Okay, so this is basically a product of two terms, s plus alpha and s plus beta. So one can find out a closed loop transfer function this way. Okay, now the desired pole equation can be written as s square plus alpha plus beta into s plus alpha beta, and we have compared the terms and we got these expressions. Okay, so how these equations are obtained? So these equations are obtained by comparing the s square coefficient with the 1 here, because here in the expected denominator of the closed loop transfer function has got s square term. Okay, so you compare this, so this can be directly equated to 1, and the second term which are there associated with the simple single power s, so that is kp into kg plus 1 upon tau. So this is equated with alpha plus beta, and the third term is ki into kg upon tau, so this is equated to alpha beta. Okay, so we can get this expression here. Okay, now from this expression one can easily calculate the kp, ki and kd. Okay, say for example from the first equation over here one can calculate kd. Okay, from the second expression one can calculate kp. Okay, and from the third expression one can calculate ki. So we got these equations by comparison. Kd equals to 0, kp is equals to this term, and ki equals to this term. So everything is known on right hand side, because tau is known to you because it is given by the Planck transfer function. Alpha and beta are the expected location of the poles, and kg is the constant gain factor of the Planck transfer function. So the right hand side most of the things are known to you, so one can calculate directly kd, kp, ki. So we can solve example based on this philosophy and based on these equations. Okay, say for example we have got a plant gc equals to 10 upon s plus 2 with the aim at resulting closed loop poles at alpha equals to 2 and beta equals to 3. Okay, and we want to find out what are the PID coefficients. So by using this formula. Okay, so let us do it in MATLAB. So first of all we have to rearrange this term. Okay, 10 upon s plus 2. So if you compare numerator of this term, okay, and our equation kg upon tau, this is a numerator of the generalized pole transfer function which we have taken. So we have to equate this kg upon tau with 10. Okay, and also we have to equate s plus 2 with s plus 1 upon tau. So here in this case, since we have got a 2 here, okay, so 1 upon tau is 2, so tau is 0.5. Okay, so kg upon tau is 10, so kg upon tau is 10, so kg can be written as 20 because kg can be written as 5 because kg is tau into this particular factor. Okay, so therefore one can write down the MATLAB equation, okay, and can directly find out PID coefficient and can operate on a closed loop transfer function and find out a step response. Okay, so here we have got tau equals to 0.5, we have got kg equals to 5, okay, we have got alpha equals to 2 and beta equals to 3. So let us see how it is done. So we have got a equation like this: tau equals to 0.5, kg equals to 5, g is a transfer function which is written in this form. Okay, so kg upon tau and 1 upon s plus 1 plus s into 1 upon tau. Okay, so so alpha equals to 2, beta equals to 3. Okay, kp is equals to this one. So this equation has already discussed by you. Okay, ki is this one. Okay, and kd equals to 0. Okay, this we have seen for a single pole. Okay, and we have got a gc, that is a closed loop transfer function. Sorry, this is a compensator transfer function as kp plus ki upon s plus kd into s. So this is a parallel form, and one can find out a feedback equation. So this is a closed loop transfer function g underscore c, right? So it is using the feedback as a function, okay, which is operating on the open loop transfer function at g into gc. Okay, and assuming that there is a unity feedback. Okay, so one can find out g underscore c as a closed loop transfer function and one can get a step response. Okay, so let us see how the step response appearing. We can also find out the we can also check out whether the pole locations are correct or not of the resulting closed loop transfer function. So let us run the program. So if you run the program, we shall be getting the closed loop transfer function this way. Okay, so if, and these are the pole location. Okay, so here actually there is one 0 also at s equals to 1, sorry, s equals to 2 and s equals to minus 2, and one pole at s equals to minus 2 and s equals to minus 3. Okay, so this one can find out also. Okay, so that means we got a desired response here. So would you like to find out what would be the response without PID coefficient? That we can also find out by simply saying that with because with kp equals to 1, okay, ki equals to 0, and kd equals to 0, one can find out this way. gc once again, okay, so gc is known to you with the modified kp, ki and kd, and one can find out the step response also. So this is our transfer function. The plot of the red one is basically a plot of uh, closed loop transfer function without PID coefficients or with Kp equals to 1. Okay, that means without compensation, and with compensation we shall be getting this response, okay, with the blue line. Okay, now let us go back to this. Now let us discuss the another case with a double pole plant. So here in this case we have got a plant with two poles, and see, this is a pole term, one first pole, and this is a second pole. Okay, so this can be rearranged with this expression. Okay, with the pole location at S equals to minus 1 upon tau 1, and pole location, say second pole is at S equals to minus 1 upon tau 2. Okay, so now due to effect of PID controller we get two poles in the resulting closed loop system. Okay, now let us consider that the desired closed loop system has closed loop poles located at S equals to minus A, S equals to minus B, and S equals to minus C. Okay, so we shall assume that, because we know that by applying a PID controller to this original plant, okay, we are getting an additional pole in the closed loop transfer function. So let us consider that the resulting closed loop poles are 3 here, okay, and which are located at S equals to minus A, S equals to minus B, and S equals to minus C. So these are the generalized pole locations. So the desired pole equation is written as S cube plus A plus B plus C into S square plus AB plus BC plus CA into S plus ABC. Okay, so this is well known form. Okay, because this is essentially a product of three terms, S plus A, S plus B, and S plus C. Okay, so after comparing the numerator of closed loop transfer function with PID block, we can write following equation. So we can straight away write down, one can verify also, we can straight away write down these expressions. Okay, and we can get PID computation like this: KD equals to this way, KP equals to this way, and KI equals to this way. Okay, so if you just look at the right hand side expressions, these are all known terms because A, B, C are the desired pole locations. Tau 1 and tau 2 are basically the time constants of the given plant. Okay, and Kg is also gain, and so most of the things are known to you. Okay, so we can also solve one example based on this particular concept. So let us assume that we have got a transfer function as 10 upon S plus 1, S plus 1. Okay, 10 upon S plus 1, S plus 1. Okay, that is 10 upon S plus 1 square, and our desired pole locations of closed loop transfer function are A equals to 1, B equals to 2, and C equals to 3. Okay, that means we want the pole location at S equals to minus 1, S equals to minus 2, and S equals to minus 3. Okay, now let us work out with the MATLAB and find out Kp, Ki, and Kd from these expressions. Okay, after substituting these known values. Okay, one can find out what are the equations. Okay, then design a compensator and then find out the step response of the closed loop transfer function. Okay, so we shall go back to our MATLAB screen like this. So we have got one program written especially for double pole. So I'll explain this particular program. So here tau 1 is equals to 1, tau 2 is equals to 1. Okay, now kg equals to 10, right? Okay, kg equals to 10. We found that kg equals to 10 for the given example, and the plant transfer function is given this way: kg upon tau 1 into tau 2. So these are the constants, and s plus 1 upon tau 1 and s plus 1 upon tau 2. Okay, and we have also defined a equals to 1, b equals to 2, and c equals to 3. Okay, so this is what we are expecting, right? And we have got kd expression, which is written down as it is from this expression. Okay, and kp expression, which is written down as it is from this expression. Okay, and ki is also written down from this expression. Okay, and then we got the compensator transfer function at gc equals to kp plus ki upon s plus kd into s. So okay, as usual. And then we found the closed loop transfer function by using a feedback function operating on g into gs, and we finally wrote step g underscore c. That means we want a step response on the closed loop transfer function. Okay, and we can also try to find out the root locus of this closed loop transfer function to check whether we are getting the pole location correctly or not. So let us run this program. So we have run this program, and we found that the closed loop transfer function is this way. Okay, and the root locus of this is this way. Okay, so you will find out from this that we essentially got three poles. One is at -1, second is at -2, and third is at -3. Okay, and in addition we have got two zeros also. Okay, one is I don't know, but one is at s equals to -1, and another is in between 1 and 2. Okay, so one can check this way, right? So that means we confirm here that our system is being designed, okay, by calculating the kp, ki, kd, and comparing the resulting closed loop transfer function with the PID coefficients with the desired closed loop transfer function. One can find out the PID coefficients. Okay, and we also verified that we got a desired response. Okay, so this is a response of the closed loop step response of the closed loop transfer function.